sir. Good morning. Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Good morning,
Good morning,
sir.
sir.
Morning, everyone. Please mute yourself. All of you,
Good
I
morning,
request
sir.
mute yourself. Good morning.
Good
Yes.
morning, sir.
Got it. Good morning, all. Just mute yourself right now. Okay. So, yesterday we had a mind-blowing session, right? Where you all, most of you, in fact, not all of you, most of you came forward and you spoke about your intentions to pursue literature or English literature in that way. And I know that most of you are still left and excited to talk about that. But I'm so sorry because I cannot devote so much of classes on that. Already we are far behind in terms of semester system because admissions are quite pretty late, right? So I am seeking my apologies to those who haven't spoken yesterday, and I'm quite sure that in future time they shall have the opportunity to speak something. Okay. With this, let me come to the syllabus of yours, which I already mentioned in the last class. You have two papers this semester, English literature. The first paper is essay. I already mentioned the essays Francis Bacon, Steele, Edison, and Charles Lamb. And for these essays, you can consult, you can buy a book, English Essays by S.K. Sinha. S.K. Sinha. It's always, I always advise you to buy the book in print in hard copy so that you can possess it, you can read it as and whenever you like it to read. Those who cannot buy the book, or I don't know if in problem regarding buying or purchasing, these essays are available free online, right? So you can type the essay in Google and you can have the essay before you, right? So I mean, I would advise all of you to buy the books. And if in any case you are not in a position to buy the book, don't worry. These essays are available online free of cost. You can Google, you can find, you can read it in the classroom,
Sir,
right?
what is the name of the book?
This is by SK Sinha, English essays or essays, something like that. SK Sinha. I will share the book cover in the group itself. Don't worry. Right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
I will share that today itself. Somebody did share that in my WhatsApp. Thank you so much for that. But I will do that once again in that group. Did you find syllabus of that English paper? Did you search the Google and find the syllabus?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So, okay. In the second paper, as your teachers already started, you have the drama paper, and there you have to do two plays, and both by Shakespeare, I think. The first is Macbeth, and second is The Merchant of Venice, right? So you have to buy the textbooks for these two plays. First and foremost thing is to buy the text. That is, to buy the Macbeth text, to buy the text of The Merchant of Venice, right? So this is the syllabus, and these are the books which you have to buy. And even those who can't buy the books like the textbook like Macbeth and the Merchant of Venice, don't worry, you have again available free of cost on Google. You can Google Macbeth, the text, and you can find the text available for you, right? But as I said in the beginning, I would advise all of you to buy the books because there is no replacement for the book which you hold in your hand and read in person. That's the experience you all of you should have. And please read the textbooks, and please be in the habit of reading the full textbooks, right? Most of you do think that there's no need to read textbook and I can go for guide. Or please mute yourself. Just mute yourself, please. Who is she? Yes. So most of you think it proper to go for secondary readings and what do we call guide or kunji kind of thing. They are available. Don't worry. They are available online, offline, both. But as a sincere student of literature, you are expected to read the text first. Don't make a move to secondary readings. Don't make a move to go for commentaries without reading the text. The text is the key. The text is everything. The text, without text, you cannot do justice to the writer, to the author, or to the text which you're considering. Text is all important. And please be in the habit to read the text, because this reading will make you a good literature, a good literary pursuer, or a good reader, or a good writer, or a good student, by the way, student of literature. Right? Am I clear? Just one response. Yes?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So today I shall be talking about essay. Essay. And my first statement, though I have been stating so much, essay is that genre of literature which all of you have done. Yesterday, we made certain story writers, we have made some poets, we have made some dramatists and fiction writers, as some of them are planning, right? But I'm saying that whether you become a poet, whether you become a dramatist or a novelist or such a writer, I don't know. But I know one thing for sure, that you all have been an essay writer, isn't it? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because in school days, you have been asked to write essays. Essay on friendship, essay on money, essay on corruption, essay on democracy, essay on whatever you can remember, whatever you can think about. So all of us have been an essayist, have been a kind of essay writer, at least once or twice so far, whatever we have led so far. So this is the thing, that we all have been an essay writer of a degree or important of a kind as well. You cannot become a poet, don't worry. You haven't become a dramatist, don't worry. You haven't written a short story, don't worry. But thanks to yourself, you must be taking the pride that, look, I have been writing essays. And this is the genre. When I'm saying that you have been writing essays, I'm saying that when you have written an essay once upon a time in your childhood or school days, I'm saying the flexibility of this genre. The flexibility is very important. Flexibility. Not all of us can write poems. Not all of us can write our stories. Not all of us can write fictions and other genres. But all of us have written, and most probably will write essays. Why? Because essay, in comparison to other genres of literature, is far more flexible. Far more what? Flexible. Isn't it? Agreed?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, इसमें बहुत सारे बच्चे हिंदी मीडियम के होंगे, तो शायद हमको समझ नहीं पा रहे होंगे। लेकिन दिक्कत इस बात की है कि हमको तो हिंदी भी आती है, हमको तो भोजपुरी भी आती है ना? लेकिन चूंकि ये क्लास इंग्लिश का है, तो हमको इंग्लिश में ही बात करना है ना? क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो बस
Yes, sir.
बी अटेंटिव, है ना? अटेंटिव रहिए, और कोई दिक्कत होगा, दिक्कत तो खैर होगी ही, है ना? ये बहुत बड़ी बात तो है नहीं, दिक्कत तो भाई
आपको
सबको
दोनों
होती है।
बोलना चाहिए।
बड़ा मुश्किल है। अब हम बोल सकते हैं, हमको हिंदी भी आती है, हमको तो भोजपुरी भी आती है ना? लेकिन दिक्कत ये है कि आई कांट डू दिस, है ना? आई कांट डू दिस। So better be very attentive, be careful, और आप प्रयास करें कि आप हमको समझ सकें, हमको सुन सकें, म्यूट कर सकें अपने आप को, बहुत जरूरी है म्यूट करना पहले, ठीक है, अननेसेसरी अनम्यूट ना करें। हाँ, बी गुड अटेंड, गुड लिसनर, सुनिए, म्यूट कर लो भाई, म्यूट तो कर लो, थैंक यू। चलिए, सो flexibility is a key when I say, including myself, that I myself have been an essayist of a sort once upon a time. Once upon a time. Uh, what does it mean when I'm saying that essay as a genre is flexible? Well, what do I mean by this? What do I intend when I say this? For this, I would like you to go to the root word of the word essay. The root word of the word essay. The root word, is ESSAI, Esai. ESSAI, Esai. It's from French. It's from French. French word, Esai. And from this French word, the word essay has been developed. If you look at the word Esai, ESSAI, and its meaning, the meaning is try. The meaning is to attempt. Got it? So the point is the flexibility of the genre, this genre, by the way, starts from the very root meaning. The root meaning is asai, that is to attempt, that is to try. Think about it. If you are asked to try about something, if you are asked to give an attempt about something, obviously a try or attempt will never be complete. Yes or no? A try or attempt will never be perfect. Will they be? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No.
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No. I
No,
mean,
sir.
they can be yes, but in most of the cases there would be no. By the way, nobody is perfect, nothing is perfect, nothing is absolute, nothing is complete. Right? That's my position, which I can make without any without any um, doubt. By the way, so to try to make an attempt. So if you are asked to write an essay, what are you being asked? You are simply asked to try, to attempt. And what goes in attempt? What goes in trying? Okay, I can try, I can attempt. Don't worry. So this trying, or the very process to attempt to write something in terms of an essay, brings out the note of flexibility. Flexibility. All of us can be essayist. All of us can be essayists without any labeling that he's a good essayist, he's the best essayist, he's the worst essayist. Not like that. Because the root meaning is to try, the root meaning is to an attempt, the root meaning is to practice, to do something without any prior knowledge, without any prior mastery, without any prior expertise. Right? If you want to be a poet of a kind, you need to know the rhyme scheme, the meter stanza, the syllables, and everything, by the way. But these things are not applied here when we approach an essay, an important aspect I'm talking about. And this flexibility of this essay form can also be understood while considering its subject matters. Subject matters. Think about it. Subject matters. I'm telling you, I am telling you that whatever you have learned so far, known so far, experienced so far, there is not a thing left. There is not a subject matter left on which an essay cannot be written. It means the subject matter of an essay is so vast, is so wide ranging that it can encompass any possible subject matter, any possible subject matter, any possible. So we can write an essay about the dirt. Pick up dirt on my table. I pick up dirt on my laptop. We can write an essay on plant and trees, leaves, insects, tortoises, butterflies, air, what not? What not? We could write an essay about sticks. We could write essay about online classes. We could write about whatsoever you can imagine. Soul, mortality, immortality, God, devils, demons, boys, girls, sisters, brothers, animals. Think about any aspect of your life, any experience of your life, any affair of your life that can have the power to make you an essayist. So, from the speck of a dirt, from the nail to nail polish, I don't have nails, by the way, I have just cut it yesterday evening. From the nail to nail polish to the questions of God, questions of existence, questions of mortality and immortality, from micro to macro, from small to big, and what in Hindi we call it, from nak to shik. We all can write essay, and we can write essay on any of these topics, on any of these issues, on any of these uh, subject matters. Am I clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as I said, we can have essay from on a speck of dirt, a nakhun. In there's one Hindi essay, नाखून क्यों बढ़ते हैं? नाखून क्यों बढ़ते हैं? Very important essay. You can Google, and I don't know if you can find it or not, but I read long back ago. नाखून क्यों बढ़ते हैं? And we have some big essays, an essay concerning human understanding. An essay concerning human understanding by Locke, by John Locke. Very long essay, 35 pages long essay. But we have the essay नाखून क्यों बढ़ते हैं? And another interesting aspect of this essay writing. So you are talking about an essay on नाखून क्यों बढ़ते हैं, and it's quite possible that in the whole essay you don't use the word nakhun in the main body of the writing. That's the flexibility. So the title is nakhun क्यों बढ़ते हैं, and the reader would be quite interested as if to know, my God, नाखून क्यों बढ़ते हैं? What a topic here, है ना? हमने कभी सोचा ही नहीं कि ऐसा कोई topic हो सकता है, right? And you start reading the essay, and nowhere you find the word nakhun or nail in the whole body of the essay. That's the flexibility once again. So you can
Yes,
have a
sir.
title, write about something else. Yes, sorry, you said something. Somebody? Did somebody say something?
No,
Okay,
sir.
no issue.
Continue.
Continue. Thank you so much, madam. So look at this flexibility, right? So subject matter, it could be anything. It could be a topic without a topic. It could be the analysis in terms of either subjectivity or objectivity, where you adopt one position, subposition, and you write as if you were writing. I will come to that later. So the root word essai, French. Later it was appropriated in Latin, exorcism, right? Then it came to English. So that's the history which I will not be talking about. So essay. The first and the foremost credit, if you talk about literature, if you talk about who wrote the first essays or who who is considered to be the first essay writer? There have been many of them, right? I'm not talking about India, or I'm not talking about the specific Indian context, right? We are dealing with English literature, or we are dealing with something European phenomena. So the examples would belong to Europe or European nations by, for example, with England or France or Germany or something like that. So the first and foremost person whom we credit, whom we credit to be the first essayist, first essay writer, recorded by the way, is a Frenchman. Frenchman. The name is Montaigne. The name is what? Montaigne. 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 Right? And Montaigne has written that I myself am the subject matter of my essays. I myself am the subject matter of my essays. This is what he wrote. And what does it mean when he says, I myself am the subject matter of my essays? This is what I was talking about in terms of subjectivity and in terms of objectivity. So you think about a topic, you begin to write about it. So obviously, when one writes when one writes about something, one's own personal self is involved. Inclination, tendency, desire, one's own understanding, one's own belief system about a person or topic or whatever the concerned topic could be. So that's the pretty thing. That's to be understood very, in a very right way. That yes, when I write an essay about politics, about democracy, I might come up with something what I think about democracy, what I am about democracy, by the way. So one can be either subjective while using the word I, me, something like that, or one could be objective where the person doesn't use these words and simply talks about in third person or in second person, right? Even without any person in general. That could be objectivity. But mind it, even if the person is trying to write in second or third person, or even without any person, one cannot separate the creator behind that. One cannot ignore, one cannot forget the actual writer writing behind you, he, she, they. Yes, agreed? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Right. So far, do you have something to ask? You can ask. If anybody wants to ask something, please. Just speak something. One can. Huh. Please come up. Hello. Huh.
I want to ask that, what do you think about subjective and objective form of speech? I mean, someone who is writing on his own style, that it may be subjective.
You were not audible properly. Can you be more specific to your question? Your voice is breaking, my dear. Say it again. Say it again.
I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible, dear. Yes.
Sir, I was asking about what is it about subjective and objective form of essay? If someone is writing on himself, then it will be subjective, and if someone is writing on someone others, then it will be objective. Right? This
No, it's
is
not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. Okay, Hannah. I said whenever we read about somebody or when you read something, if the person is using the words like I or me or myself, so these are certain words which connote the idea that the personal self of the author is involved in the writing of a particular piece of writing, right? And generally, when a writer uses the words like you, he, she, second person or third person, not the first person. We have three persons. Yes, you know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We have first person, second person, third person, right? So normally, if somebody writing in the first person, that is subjective. Normally, right? And if somebody is writing in second and third person, that could be objective. Generally, but even if this is not something which can be applied to everybody, because I am just saying that it's bit difficult. Yes, we can say that subjective and objective, right? But we can also we should also understand the point that even if the writer is writing in second or third person, who is writing? He is writing and he is behind there. He is just holding that thing, right? So subjective and objective, that could be uh, I mean, if you just pick up any kind of essay, I mean, start reading an essay, by the way, then while reading the essay, you can be in a position to understand as to what extent the writer is subjective and to what extent writer is objective, right? Generally, when person deals with the first person experiences are subjective, and when a person deals with the things known to all, universal knowledge, universal affairs, that is known as objective. Got it? But there's a very thin line as to when the writer becomes subjective and when writer becomes objective. This is your perception. How do you make it? How do you understand that? Whether the writer is subjective or objective. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more response? Please come up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, can I say both subjective or objective?
It can be, dear. It can be. Yes, we have examples of both. Because sometimes the essay begins with I, right? Or sometimes begins with one's own personal experiences and largely melts into universal aspects, right? The writer or the author melts, the subject melts after the first two paragraphs and becomes the universal soul or universal being, by the way. It can
Yes,
both be the concept of subjective and objective. Yes,
objective.
it can be a
So,
possibility.
so you talk about flexibility of essay, but there must be some limitation, method, or certain way to write essays. Like, there should be something which we can write, or there should be something which we cannot in
Yes,
essay
yes, yes.
on a particular
Right.
subject.
Very tricky question you have asked. But again, as I have said in the beginning, that an essay is flexible genre. So please consider that first, right? And you see, we can talk about certain types and certain kinds, or certain subject positions, or certain styles. Uh, but that's a different thing altogether, and I will come to that later, because right now I'm exploring the definition of an essay, right? And then when I come to the types of essay, so there are certain types which, and when we talk about types of essay, kinds of essay, we are getting in certain restrictions, certain limitations, isn't it? Yes, na? Right?
Yes,
So
sir.
this is the beginning. This is just the beginning, and this is simply to stir your mind, simply stir your imagination. Right? Start thinking, start writing, and once you start writing, so if you try to write something in the first attempt, are you ever happy with that? Are you write it again? Tell me.
No, sir.
Sir, I never said this.
Hello. You write something at first go, right? In terms of trial or error, in terms of attempt. So do you consider that attempt to be the last one, final one? Tell me.
No,
No,
sir.
sir. No, sir.
No,
No.
sir.
It's quite possible that you write something, you read something, right? You read that, you read your piece of writing, you give it to your friends, please read it to me and tell me what are the faults, right? So there are, you can bring in modifications, you can bring in changes, you can bring in certain alterations, right? That is subjected to further changes, right? The point is first to write something, then only one can think about making it something newer or better or the best. Got it?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can a good essay be objective? And if it is objective, then can it be considered as a piece of literature? Because, like literature itself is creative, and if we use like data, like to make it objective, is it considered a good essay?
See, first of all, I think if I'm getting your point clearly, you seem to point out the fact that literatures are not written objectively. Is it like that?
Uh, Not exactly, but uh, like a good essay should be subjective, or like it can have both. But if an essay is only objective, then can it be considered a good essay or like a piece of literature if it is objective?
Obviously, we all consider a writer, an author, somebody writing behind, right? And if you look at the tradition of literary writings, we have been into lots of debates whether to what extent writing should be subjective and what extent writing should be objective, right? And most of the writers have argued for an objective writing style, objective writing in that way, because objectivity entails certain limitations, certain restrictions, and objectivity does have the power to touch maximum people, right? If I eat only dal bhat chokha, right? Suppose I write about dal bhat chokha, so that could be utterly subjective, and that may not apply to the one who eats pizza or cheeseburger. आप लोगों को भूख लग जाएगी, हमको लगता है सब बताते बताते नाश्ता तो कर लिया है आप लोगों ने?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So right now, if I have to come to you and if I have to answer a question, yes, it could be subjective, it could be objective, and both the substitutions, both the approaches have literary values, right? And the great values, if you talk about Mahabharata and Ramayana, think about them. Are they written objectively or subjectively? If you can say something about that, tell me. Is Ramayan written objectively or
It is objectively.
Objective.
we have we don't
Sir,
have a consensus.
objectively.
Yes, most probably objectively, because we don't find the writer. Who was the writer? Who wrote Ramayana?
Maharishi Valmiki.
Maharshi Valmiki.
Thank God किसी ने नहीं कहा कि रामायण तुलसीदास ने लिखा।
वो तो रामचरितमानस आई थिंक सर लिखे थे।
सही बात, सही बात। चलिए, so Ramayana is objectively written, right? Right, na? Agreed? And look at the value of Ramayana. Look at the value of Ramayana. So, irrespective of whether one is having subjective approach or objective approach, that has a literary value. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Sir,
Haji? हाँ.
so if an objective paper relies on validity and reliability, so won't it be considered like a scientific or a research paper, or both of them are same?
See, if you're talking about sciences, I have my own reservation against the objectivity of sciences. Do science subjects not fall into trial and error? Tell me. Yes?
They do, sir.
They do.
They
I
do.
mean, so it's very, काश हम लोग क्लास में बैठे होते, है ना? मैं तो बहुत दुखी हूँ क्योंकि ये कोरोना ने क्या क्या कर डाला है, ठीक है? बहुत अच्छा डिस्कशन जा रहा है, I like it too much, But point here है हम आपसे but what I have to say is that even science is not totally objective. It's not. I mean, I cannot say that. I cannot say that sciences are objectively conceived. I'm not saying that. And yes, in literature we have certain methodologies, we have certain approaches, certain research objectives, which are very much scientific, very much scientific. So even sciences are
Even
not
sciences have theories.
obviously, beta. Sciences have not only one theory. Had sciences been one, or had sciences been objectively conceived once and for all, we may not have seen so many changes in scientific approaches as well, isn't it? Yes, na. Even sciences are susceptible to bring to be changed, to be transformed, and they are right. Hello.
So yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any hard and fast rules whether this should be science or this should be literature, because even literature could be scientific and scientific could be literature, by the way, and we all say literature the science. Right. So very tricky area, huh? But I think you have got my point, have you? I don't know.
Yes, sir, I have. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Somebody, I have a question. If someone get a topic on
Sir?
any matter, then what would be the first thing comes
Excuse me,
to
sir.
begin? Haji, hello.
Sir, I have a question. Uh,
Huh?
Hello? Sir, is there
Listening.
any certain set of rules that need to be followed while writing essay? Like, while we write poems, it needs to be of a certain meter.
Oh yes, sure, sure, right. I mean, this is what I've been pointing out, that when you write a poem, you go for a meter, you go for syllables, you go for structure, you go for rhyming scheme. But thanks God, thanks to God and thanks to the creativity, because today we don't have that with the allegiance to either meter or syllables of rhyming scheme, isn't it? Yes, yes, na. Now we have free verses as well, right? Free verses as well.
Yes, sir.
But yes, I
Sir,
mean,
sir, will you
let
provide summary of the
let me.
chapter?
अरे यार, अभी तुम चैप्टर पहुंच गई.
I'm just asking, sir.
अरे यार, डोंट आस्क. अभी तो हम भूमिका बता रहे हैं ना. भूमिका सुन तो लो, है ना. अभी चैप्टर भी आए, भी चैप्टर दूर है बेटा. अभी चैप्टर को आने में 2-4 सप्ताह लग जाएगा. ठीक है. हेलो. कौन था? क्या नाम है
Okay, sir.
आपका?
Okay.
अभी समय लगेगा. अभी हम हिस्ट्री के बारे में बात करेंगे, टाइप्स के बारे में बात करेंगे. इट विल टेक एटलीस्ट 2 to 4 classes to do the preliminaries. After that, I shall come to the essays. Okay, am I clear? Hello,
Yes, sir.
है ना. So don't worry. अभी हमको जो बताना बता लेने दो बेटा. It will take time, है ना. Okay. So I was just talking about. What were they talking about?
Literature is science, science is
Sir, the
literature.
rules.
Rules and regulations, right? Rules and regulations as to how should one compose an essay, right? Yes. One interesting anecdote on that. One interesting, not a story, just one line reference. When I was in graduation, one of my friends, Uncle G, was IS officer, IPS officer, right? In fact, and he was in Bihar. He was DIG, something like that. So we were the hostel, in the middle of hostel, in BHU campus. So he made a visit to his son, and we got into touch with him and spoke to him. And most of the students at the time were desirous, when you look at an IAS officer, IPS officer, so you try to become like that, or try to clear UPSC. Sir, Uncle Ji, I want to do UPSC. You tell me how should I write and what should I not write, something like that. So then once upon a time, I mean, in one of those meetings, one student, one a friend of ours, approaches Uncle Ji and asks him, Uncle Ji, how to write an essay? Hana, how to write an essay? Because in UPSC in those days, essay writing was the longest task, and it used to give lots of marks. So how to write an essay? So in that particular room of Birla hostel, that there was a corner. In the corner, there was a lathi. You know, stick. You know, beta stick. Lathi. You know, na lathi. Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There's a lathi stick kind of thing. So he pointed out that, and he asked, "Can you write an essay on that lathi? Can you write an essay on that lathi?" And we were just speechless as to what should be written on that lathi. What should I write about that lathi? Then he said, "Look, we can begin like that. जैसे एक लाठी दीवार के सहारे खड़ी है, वैसे ही हम सभी किसी न किसी के सहारे खड़े हैं." Got my point? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is too deep line, sir.
Just the beginning. Just the beginning. And mind it. Mind it. We have considered essay to make an attempt, to make a try. We have considered essay in terms of subjectivity and objectivity. Let me give you two more words to understand that, and it will make your point more clear, your question more reliable and more understandable. Then these two words are matter and manner. Okay? Matter and manner. In the same example of lathi, we were speechless. We couldn't think of as to what should be written on lathi. So there's no matter. No ideas coming to the mind. That's what should be written about lathi in 2, 3, 5 pages. Right? But that Uncle Ji, he showed us the way. And he didn't have any idea as to what should the matter, but he had one thing. You know what was that? Manner. Right? How to begin with. Got it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
How to begin with.
Yes, sir.
Manner, manner, manner. The way you say it, the way you develop it, the way you write, the way you bring about stylistic change, stylistic shift, the way you program it, the way you pattern it. So sometimes in an essay writing thing, matter may not be important, but manner becomes important. Style becomes important. Say act of saying becomes important. Act of developing becomes important. Manner and matter. And sometimes, I'm not saying that essays may not have matter. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I'm simply saying that there are several issues in the world on which maximum essays are written. But why do you like some essays over others? Because of matter or because of manner? Tell me, what is the reason?
Because of manner.
Because of manner, right? You got it right. Because of manner. So we do have rules and regulations. But when I say manner, so I'm not at all saying that we have universal manners. We have the manners for each and all. No. That's why you are expected to read as much as possible. You read Montaigne, you read Bacon, you read Lamb, you read Edition, you read Steele, you read somebody else. And out of reading that much, you begin to know, oh my God, these are the styles, these are the manners. If there are these, how do I make my own manner? How do I develop my own style? Right? So reading is not such an easy task. You need to read. Writing is not such an easy task, dear. You need to read a lot first. You need to imbibe. You need to follow. And then, well, you can talk about if this is written, what is not written. If this is written like this, can it be written like this? Got it? Okay?
Yes, sir.
So the more you work on, the more you read, the more you are there to bring about newness, to bring about in Hindi what we call it nutanta or navinata, something like that. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
क्वेश्चंस मत लिखिए आज, हमारे काउंसलिंग तो लेक्चर छूट गई है क्या, ये सब पूछ रहे हैं यार। आई सिंपली रिक्वेस्ट यू नॉट टू राइट इन चैट बॉक्स। जब हम बोलते हैं तो हम बोलें कि आपका पढ़ें। हम तो रावण तो है नहीं कि 10 हमारे पास सिर है ना, नहीं है ना हमारे पास 10 सिर।
No, sir, you have only.
यदि हम आपको मना करें, हाँ ओनली वन हेड, हाँ यदि हम आपको मना करें ना बोलो तो हम आप कहिएगा। तो बिला वजह का चैट बॉक्स में आज काउंसलिंग नहीं चल रही है, आज वो सो गई है, वो खाना खा रही है, ये सब मत लिखा करिए। Something to ask, speak up. I will ask to speak. If I don't ask you to speak up, then ask me, sir, you didn't let me speak. Got it? So please don't write chat box. It simply distracts my attention. है ना? मेरी बात समझ में आ गई आपको?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
मैं समझ में आ रहा हूँ।
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
चलिए चलिए, थैंक यू। बहुत जरूरी क्वेश्चन है भाई, मैं समझ में आ रहा हूँ नहीं आ रहा हूँ।
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Thank you. So we have a mountain. We have mountain as the first and foremost in Western context, not Indian context, to be the first is a writer writing in French, where he says that I myself am the subject matter of my essays. In between, we have so many essay writers, but we are not here to discuss all of them. But I'm simply talking about certain definitions, by the way. So the definition of Montaigne, certainly when he said I myself, that is subjective position, subjective stand, by the way. And when we go to Bacon, Francis Bacon, the one who is prescribed in a course, what does he say about essay? What does he speak about essay? And he says, essays are dispersed meditations. What he says? Essays are what? Dispersed meditations. Dispersed, scattered meditations, thought processes. Scattered, that could be from anything, that could be from anywhere, that could be from any topic, that could be of any topic, by the way. Dispersed meditation. And when you talk about dispersed meditation, so you talk about friendship, animosity, parents, garden, stars, moon, sun, insect, butterfly, flowers, and not a single person. I mean, it's a difficult task for a single person to have the command over all these things. No, it's not possible. There are exceptionals, I'm not denying that. But to the best of my experience, I haven't seen anybody who has expertise on each of these. So these subjective, this kind of writing where we have dispersed meditations, we are more prone to look at them in terms of objectivity. In terms of objectivity, right? Because we don't have any valid or authentic experience or knowledge, on which we can rely totally, we can rely solely. So dispersed meditation, that is to talk about different topics, different topics, different subject matters, and most probably in an objective manner, objective fashion. Then we have very important observation made by a very important writer of English language literature, Dr. Samuel Johnson. Dr. Samuel Johnson. And Dr. Samuel Johnson defines an essay in terms of what? He says that an essay is a loose sally of the mind. Most of you may have come across this statement. Dr. Samuel Johnson, Samuel Johnson, Johnnson. Dr. Samuel Johnson, and he defines an essay as what? A loose sally of the mind. Loose. not tight, Sally. Loose. And this looseness again refers back to try or to try or to attempt. A loose Sally of the mind. An irregular piece. An irregular piece. I mean, we have two words, regular and irregular. When he says irregular piece, that again connotes the kind of attempts or tries one makes in order to write an essay. An irregular, undigested, never a complete one. Never a complete one. Because if you write about lathi, or if you write about flower, if you write about somebody, your writing will not be taken as the last and final words. They are susceptible to be changed. Somebody else would come in the future, would say, look, I think not the way he has written, but I think differently. So not a complete one, not a complete one, but a process, which can further be added, deleted, erased to bring in newer significances, to bring in newer possibilities. Am I clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
अच्छा, बड़ा जोश में है भाई, बड़ी खुशी है। समय हो गया है ना, समय हो गया है। चलिए, थैंक यू सो मच।
Yes,
We shall
sir.
meet.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir.